Fiona from Sunnyside Art House. Today I am going to show you how to do a field of poppies painting. It's Anzac Day on Saturday here in Australia and in New Zealand, and we're going to do a field of poppies painting. So if you have a canvas, you can use a canvas. Today I'm just using a piece of white paper that has been taped onto a board that just gives you a nice white border, but you don't need to do that. I am using paint today, but you can use textures or crayons or watercolours, any art materials that you've got at home. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do our grass down the bottom. So I'm going to just first establish where my horizon line is. So that's the line between the land and the sky. Every picture always usually has a horizon line if you're doing a landscape. So that's my horizon line there. And now I'm just going to paint in my grass. I've got a couple of two different green paints here, but if you've only got one, that's fine as well. What you might want to do is actually add in a little bit of white or black, just so that you get some different textures of colour in your grass. If you ever look at grass in your garden or in a field, you'll find that grass comes in lots of different colours. It's not just one colour green. So it's really good to get a little bit of variation in there. So I've painted it just sideways to get the colour in, but now I'm going to go up and down and just get a bit of texture into my grass, so it looks like there's lots of different bits going up and down. And you can see I've done my paint quite thick, so if you're using acrylic paint like I am, you can actually get some texture in there. But if you're just doing watercolours or crayons or textures, that's fine too. I'm going to add a tiny little bit of yellow in mine as well, just to give the grass even more colour. If you have a skewer handy, you can also use a skewer, and you can use that just to scratch some bits into your grass as well. You can use a little toothpick or anything that's kind of sharp. Okay, so now I've done my grass, I'm now going to do my sky. And wash out my paintbrush. And I'm just going to put lots of blue into my sky. You might want to add clouds into your sky, and you can do your sky or blue now and then add some white on top when it's dry. Or you could have even added some clouds in now and then painted around it. Again, for this one, I'm going to add just a little bit of white and just get my sky a little bit of different colour in it. I never like doing things one colour. I always like to add a bit of white or something just to add a bit of different colour. Okay, so I have my sky and my grass. I'm actually going to let that dry. A little tip, if you have a hairdryer at home, or if mum lets you use her hairdryer, you can hair dry it a little bit, and then we're going to come back and add our poppies. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so my painting's dried now. It's still a little bit wet, but it's pretty much dried. So I'm now going to draw in my poppies. Now the thing with things, when they're close to you, they look big, and as they go further away, they get smaller, yeah? So it's perspective. When things are closer to this horizon line, they're going to be small, the poppies all the way in the distance, but the ones up close are going to be big. So we're going to draw our poppies now in, and we're going to make sure that they're big at the front and they get smaller as they go towards the back. Now you can draw your poppies however you want. I'm just going to do them in really simple little blobs because that's kind of what poppies are like. So I'm going to start with some really big ones at the front. Now, if you didn't do this in paint, but you did it in textures and something first, you might even draw on your poppies first and then draw on the grass around them. They're usually not in really neat rows, so try not have them in too much of a straight row. So my ones up the front are really big because they're right up in front of me. But the ones at the back are really just going to be tiny, tiny little spots. So I'm going to start with the big ones at the front and the little ones at the back. And then I'm going to fill in the middle. Okay, so I've now got my poppies in, and now I'm just going to add some little black spots into the middles of them. Obviously they're going to be a bit bigger in the ones close to top, and you probably won't be able to see the black dots in the really ones that are white in the background. So these ones right in the background, you're probably not even going to be able to see any black. So you don't have to worry about them, but as they get closer you can start to see the middles. So you don't need to do the blacks and the ones right at the back, they're just too small. Okay, I think mine needs a little bit of white clouds, so I'm also going to add some white clouds. You always get a new brush when you're doing white. I'm just going to add some white clouds in the background. And there you have it, my Anzac poppies picture. If you do tape around the edge, you can let it dry and then you can pull these off. If you were doing it on a canvas, then you can just leave it as is. Normally I'd let this dry first just so that I don't risk smudging any of the paint, but I'm quite keen to get it off, so I'm going to pull it off right now. And there you have my painted poppies painting. Hope you enjoy it, and I'd love to see your pictures if you do one. Thanks very much. Bye.